The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1 is the third movie in the Hunger Games tetralogy. Directed by Francis Lawrence, starring Jennifer Lawrence as Katniss, John Hutcherson as Peeta, Liam Hemsworth as Gale, Woody Harrelson as Haymitch, Elizabeth Banks as Effie, Julianne Moore as President Coin, Philip Hoffman as Plutarch, who died during filming, Donald Sutherland as President Snow, and Willow Shields as Prim. It's disappointing that the Mockingjay adaptation is in two parts, but I'm kind of glad they did that, since the book is around 300 pages long, which is like too much material for a single movie, which prevents it from becoming Spider-Man 3. But I'm also starting to suspect that this was done in order to cash in more money for Lionsgate, the distributor and production company for the franchise. I just watched this movie yesterday on the opening night with my friends whom I haven't even met since I graduated from middle school. Speaking about my friends, let me share my experience with the franchise as a whole. I saw the first movie on Netflix last year, and I saw Catching Fire. Actually, I watched it live in theaters on opening night. I thought the first one was original and pretty cool in action, and the second one even managed to improve upon the original in tremendous ways. With the nostalgia out of the way, let's jump to the third movie. So, before I get to the plot, spoiler alert. After Katniss escaped from the third quarter 12 games from Catching Fire, Katniss, along with Gale, Finnick, Beetee, now end up in the Sotar District 13 because in the first two movies there were only 12 districts. Under the leadership of President Coin and the advice of her friends, Katniss becomes the Mockingjay and the symbol of rebellion for the people. She also attempts to save Peeta, the love of her life since the first movie, who was a joint victor of the 74th Hunger Games along with her. And if you saw the last movie, then he got captured and he loses his mind after getting tortured by the Capitol. I have to admit, the acting spot on, especially Jennifer Lawrence. However, the movie is kind of a disappointment with a plot that sometimes feels a bit flimsy, with slow pacing, which in my mind is the movie's greatest enemy. I mean, like, the movie is 2 hours long, with some that are like watching paint dry. The finale is literally 2 pages from the book. Don't get me wrong, the jokes do get a few chuckles out of me, but still, it just feels like filler. The movie also suffers from something that is a pet peeve of mine: originitis. Which means when a movie focuses more on setting up stuff for a sequel rather than focusing on the plot itself. Special effects, top notch. On the flip side of the coin, the action in this movie is surprisingly underwhelming. Like, Katniss doesn't even get her bow for most of the movie. One thing to notice is that it takes on a darker tone and is dramatically heavier than the first and second movie, with the story venturing into the serious territory and focusing on the themes of death, loss, and guilt. The acting is top-notch, especially Jennifer Lawrence. But had she been given more material to work with, I'm sure she would have taken advantage of her role as Katniss. Peeta is a pretty good actor, but what really bugs me about this movie is that he's more of an extended cameo than an actual character. His performance is also pretty good, along with the rest of the cast, but it's too long for me to list here. In the end, The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1 is an entertaining film that will provide fans with an accurate and satisfying rendering, and others that have not read the book with a slight sense of disappointment. And although I acknowledge that it has its own flaws, I enjoyed watching Mockingjay quite a lot, and I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I still recommend it to any fan of either the movie or the book, and I know some of you are hardcore enough to be fans of both. Cheers for watching, guys, and if you like my videos, then you can subscribe to my channel. VedantNetwork out.
Coming to the tree, they strung up a man, they say